every year during Ramadan?
Well, I'm glad I don't have to do stuff like that no more. That's the type of job I used to have. Working with machines, working with physical labor. Now I make money off using my mind. You ever thought about AT&T, your insurance bill and your light bill? You pay that bill on a monthly basis. So yeah, your light bill may be $60 or $90 or $100, whatever the case may be. But imagine that same company is getting paid off for hundreds of thousands of people. If you had a product for $50 and you sold it to 1,000 people every month for $50, that's $50,000 a month. I want to help you all develop different products, different services to make money anywhere online as long as you got signal and Wi-Fi. If you click the link below, I've developed an ebook. It's called 50 Ways to Make Money Online. I want to help you out. See you on the other side.
There's no greater time than the now.
You come and you pay up front, we give you more. You pay for your car.
Learning how to make money is learning how to properly utilize the 1% trading. Once we got developed students out of that, it's the digital real estate, showing them how to build their brand, build content. They're going to get that.
There is a statistic that points that black people will have 0% wealth in 2053.
We got anywhere between 95 and 115 that we still can allocate some expenses to. You know what I'm saying?
People begin to grow and stretch, but most importantly, seeing people that look like us being able to operate businesses on a high level where other people think that we can't do it.
And it's a mindset shift to where it comes where we can actually start producing the type of lifestyle that builds wealth. Tap in with the guy, BWO.
Peace.
That's why I asked about the course for the children's course. So my daughter, like I said, she done took saved $300 of her birthday and Christmas money, put it away in the Bitcoin on Robinhood, and I bought her a cell phone, and now she has acquired $2,000, over $2,000.
Information is powerful,
Bitcoin,
because it's information that a lot of people know that we don't know, and it's out there. But if you don't know about it, then you could just walk right past it and miss your blessing or miss your opportunity to better, your
Let's
family,
learn,
yourself.
like you said, the blueprint, so that we can take it where you guys have left it and go to the next level. But again, I don't want to spend the same 7 years, 10 years that somebody else has done, because what does that do for generational wealth and generational legacy? It means that we're still 10 to 15 years behind.
I think you just said it right there, brother. There's no more excuses, to be honest.
Oh man, the first class, man, I learned that learned a lot, man. The word, like, it's three teams in this world. You got your consumer, your producer, and your banker. And you got common sense. Your consumer, they buy stuff. Producer, they sell stuff. But the banker, they lend, they control everything. So the buying and selling don't really mean nothing if somebody controlling the whole game.
Actually using our own money, there's absolutely no excuse, and there's no reason to not take this seriously and to go jump head first.
Moment, prior military, and yeah, I'm a member of the BWO.
All right, peace, family. What's going on? Make sure y'all share this out with your friends and family. If you guys can hear us, share this out. Make sure y'all share this with your friends and your family. We are live. If you have already shared this with your friends and family, press 5. If you already shared this with your friends and family, press 5. Let's get it up to 1,000 people. Let's get this up to 1,000 people before we get started.
Tap in with the guy, BWO.
Yes. Look, last week, my husband was on his way to work, and I told him, I said, you need to come home, because he was working at Walmart distribution for 17 years. He's been there. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to do this. We've been tapped in since day one.
It definitely was a lot of beneficial information that was being said there, and I was very much appreciative, because I have been learning here and there about options, about trading, and was, on the confused side of the team. And it just laid out so much more information for me than just like a light bulb hit up. Like,
I was there and I watched on the 21st. But I was kind of like a little conflicted a little bit, because I'm like, am I going against my, my restrictive orders, is this gambling? You know, I didn't really know, but my son and my daughter are already doing it, and so I'm doing it, you know, and I went ahead and signed up today. You know, I've been using Keys, Gold Water, and his Silver Bullet, and I be listening to you. I was listening to you earlier. I know you rap, you know what I mean? I used to rap back in the day, but you know, I'm just ecstatic. All praise be to Allah, like, because we don't have the mosque right now, you know what I mean? And a sister called me last night and put me on for sisters to have a little group chat and stuff like that. So I'm just like, this is it. This is, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I've been waiting for. You know what I mean? To make sure that me and my children are straight. You know what I mean? And I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. Y'all just been coming through, and I got my notes, and I took screenshots, and I was like, wow, I gotta figure this out. I gotta learn it. It was, you know, it's new to me, but I'm gonna get it.
Are taking us into consideration. Like, we have lives, you know, we have families, we have things that we gotta pay for. So, as the other guy said, crumbs, I appreciate that, because I just want to learn as much as possible, because if we're not prepared, we could be headed for disaster. So
it is, because you already got access. You no longer have to try. You just got to do it.
You know, we paid the $1,800. We didn't have to pay the $2,100. We got the discount. We paid the $1,800, and we love it. We can't wait. Our mindset is already on a higher level. We already looking into the millions. We changing our foundation. Today we had our first meeting with our girls, where we actually went over our family blueprint.
Come on.
Yes, and we will have a meeting next week. It felt so good. We're building the foundation. We already got our girls tapped in. I'm already an entrepreneur, so I'm a nurse practitioner, but my husband, both of us got master's degrees, and as much money as we spend on these student loans cannot measure up to what we're learning with you guys. Come on. We on a whole different level. We thank you. We thank all you guys. I can't wait.
I thank y'all for tapping in, applying, and man, getting your children involved so we can reach a whole new generation.
Definitely. So we can't wait to be able to meet y'all guys in person and show you that we are definitely, you know, we are the ones who have listened to you, and you know, we are your example, because we're following you guys. See,
we're gonna have the blueprint.
Yes. I appreciate y'all, man. For real.
You're welcome, man. I thank you for tapping.
All right, salute.
Peace. All right, family. So I just want to play those to kill some time. We only got 845 people in here. If y'all share with just 2 people, we will have over 1,000 people in here. Now, go ahead and ask your question. This is how it's going to go today. We have Sister Victoria on the back end who's going to be putting up y'all questions for us. So ask good questions. Not telling people what to do, but ask the question. So ask a question. A good question, not, hey, can you pay my rent off, or hey, can you do this? No, good question, so that you really could get some game that could take you to the next level. So as y'all pull up these questions and text questions, Sister Victoria is going to pull them up. Now, I know a lot of y'all are new. I know this has been shared, so y'all don't know who we are. So let's all introduce ourselves as well. My name is Brother Ben X, and my part of the BWO is the digital real estate, helping to manage the relationship between the digital real estate, the ABS tribe. That's something that me and Brother Jake came up with the ABS tribe. Now we call it the tribe, now under BWO. I show people how to make money online. I got over 500 million views on Facebook alone. I got terminated on YouTube at 40 million views. Got over 1 million followers on Facebook. And I say that not just because of the numbers, because what I talk about is impactful. So it's not just having a bunch of followers or a bunch of views, but it's having a message that is, you know, not drama, not gossip, but has reached millions of people and has helped many people as well. So I show people how to make money online, build your brand online, create content, scale, market, and automate. That's my part of the BWO.
My part of the BWO, my name is Dr. Tayler Jacobs. That feels good. That feels good. And I teach families how to build their own banking system. I teach you how no longer to depend on the bank by becoming the bank and understanding how to build your family blueprint, your family's organization to be strong and to be able to last for generations to come. The wealth that you're building today. When it comes to building companies, I'm a business builder, so I specialize in optimizing and making companies more efficient and ready and prepare for scale. And what you're going to learn from me is truly how to build a company efficiently, how to be able to grow and get the life you want debt free, but how to build your own banking system. So that's what I do.
Brother Chris, you got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Chris Cole, originally hailed from Augusta, Georgia, president of BWO, head trader of the 1% Trading Room. And essentially my part of this ship is keeping us focused on building a $1 billion company. $1 billion is not made, but is rather built. And the only way we can build $1 billion company is impacting at least 1,000 individuals and building 1,000 millionaires. I do this between wealth and risk strategy, teaching people how to take advantage of the capital markets, as well as understanding the structure of our financial system and how to always put yourself in a mindset of putting your money to work for you, learning a skill set that you can't unlearn. So no matter the current economic environment or temperature, you're always going to be able to take care of yourself and your family the way that you want to.
And salute to everybody who shared it, because now we over 1,000 people. So thank everybody who shared it out. Brother Keys.
Blessings to the family. We good?
Yes, sir.
I go by 19 Keys. My value add to the culture in the BWO. I'm an architect of mindsets. You understand me? I allow people to unlock their mind to build the exact type of mindset that they need to actually be successful. Teaching you actually how to learn and download the information so you can upgrade and have a paradigm shift to go into a higher consciousness when it comes to becoming a man, and when it comes to building a legacy. You understand me? Leading beyond life. And that's the establishment of principles, universal law, order, organization. Also the brand God. I believe that when it comes to my branding and design abilities, I can teach that process to others, and the ability to be able to sell, because without the ability to sell, then regardless of the product that you have, it will not get to the people. And so a lot of us wish that we can produce income to be able to 10x with everything that we do. So having that ability, you understand me, and an infinite sales strategy will allow you to be able to 10x everything that you do within life. Also, I want to keep our people on track when it comes to technological disruptions, when it comes to always being on time and or ahead of the time when it comes to things such as blockchain and artificial intelligence and NFTs and any other thing that happen. We want to make sure that our people are always up to date and never reacting, because then it's too late. Tap in.
All right, Sister Victoria, you can go ahead and start putting up the questions. Brother, how did you develop the ability to prioritize between what's important in terms of what it takes to be a high earner, and the time you need to step away for a second?
Who's asking it?
I guess all of us. How did you develop the ability to prioritize between what's important in terms of what it takes to be a high earner and the time you need to step away for a second?
Oh, go ahead, Keith.
He's pausing.
Okay, so what I would say is, first of all, we have to know what our destination is, where we're going. And I want to use the example when we talk about destination. I want to use actual traveling as an example. See, if I'm from Dallas, Texas, and if I were going to New York and it was freezing there, I would pack cold clothes for the freezing weather. But if it's hot in Texas in my travel, I probably won't wear a winter clothes while I'm in Texas, but I do know to pack winter clothes for New York. And then when you think about the whereabouts, the things that you will do in New York, you plan those things out, but you only deal with those things when you get to that space or when you get to that new city or when you land in that place. What I see a lot of people doing is we know what our end goal is going to be, our end destination, and we try to live in the end destination before handling what you need to do before you take off to get to that destination. And so if the goal is to make $1 million, or if the goal is to become financially free, if the goal is to become debt free, yeah, that is the goal. That's where you're headed, but you got to deal with what you need to deal with now. And so if I'm thinking about all the stuff I'm going to do in New York, but I don't handle everything I need to do in Dallas to get on the plane to get to New York, I'm going to find myself missing my flight and therefore missing my opportunity to have fun in my destination in New York. So when it comes to understanding and how to prioritize what's important, you have to ask yourself, where am I going and what do I need to handle now to ensure that I get on the right plane or in the right vehicle to get to my final destination. And so you just deal with things in order based on necessity at the moment. And then the things that you know you would deal with later, you deal with those at that moment in time. That's for me personally.
And for me, developing the ability to prioritize between what's important in terms of what it takes to be a high earner and the time it takes you to step away. For me, I don't need to step away that much because what I do is my gift, and because what I do is something that I actually love. So the amount of breaks that I need is very, very small. And if I am overwhelmed, what I've been able to do, or what we've been able to do, is develop a team that will handle those things that causes us to be overwhelmed. So the amount of times that I'm overwhelmed isn't as high. Yes, it happens, but it's not as high. And if it is something that I am overwhelmed with, I still can be in a position of being that high earner because I can delegate the skills that's needed to continue to be a high earner while still stepping away for a second to take my break. And for me, if there's a time where I feel myself getting a little bit overwhelmed, when I need to take a little break, I just go extra harder. I go extra hard to make up the time that I would have been needed to actually, when I'm taking my break. So if we do a great week and we do, more money, excellent month, shoot, I earned the right to take a little take a little break. So when I feel myself being overwhelmed, I just go a little bit harder because I have a team that depends on me. I have a team that needs me. So I make sure that they're covered. I make sure whatever my role is taken care of. Then I can go ahead and take my little breather. But again, because what I'm doing is something that I love to do and what I believe I'm born to do, the amount of time that I need off is very minimal. So it always really works out for me.
Yeah, and for me, it's as a man, I feel once you are inside of your work and you do well in your work, everything is about balance. And when you're in tune in alignment with the things that you are destined and purpose to do, the things that balance you also unfold as well. We just have to be intentional about taking the time to give in the intention and attention to the things that are set forth to balance us in the midst of us doing our work. Because at the end of the day, our work never stops. Even when we resting, we're still a body of work. We're still an example of what being committed to the process looks like and what it looks like to be totally committed, your life to be committed to the things that you set out to do as a man or a woman.
All right. Keys, did you want to add to that, or we kind of covered that?
I think y'all covered it pretty well. The only thing that I would say on that is, what takes for me to become a high earner are the other things that allow me to develop great time management. Without great time management, understand me, will start to depreciate. Every time.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till Brother Keys get to his location. Next question is, how did you learn to embrace risk taking, Brother Chris?
Embracing risk taking actually came with embracing the process and really getting into the heat of what it takes to trade. Like a lot of people like to spend a whole lot of time on practicing or, making sure they got everything right or whatever the case might be. But if we speak into trading, it's a totally different ball game when you get in there and you actually trade in real money in real time in real market conditions. So the quicker that you can actually get into the fire and start to learn yourself, your temperament, your feelings, your emotions, the things that you're experiencing in the moment, and you begin to give your attention to dealing with those things, the sooner that you can move into a place of embracing risk. I was talking to somebody today. I was like, when I put on a trade, I've been doing it so long, I am 100% completely detached from an emotional standpoint to the outcome. I know my plan. I know my risk parameters. I execute in a trade either works in my favor or it works in alignment with my risk parameters. Those are the only two outcomes of it. So even when I may, quote unquote, lose a trade or lose some money on a trade, it doesn't make me feel any type of way because my plan has already accounted for the losses that's inevitable to be taken in a market. But I mitigate my risk by developing a plan and executing around a plan and the plan only.
What was one of your biggest mistakes during your journey to multi-millionaire status? I'm gonna answer this in an unorthodox way because I'm going to say something that kind of answers your question, but it doesn't. I would say I have not made any mistakes during my journey to a multi-million-dollar status. The reason I'm saying that is because everything that I have done has led me to this situation. The times where I got scammed, the time where I just threw money in, the time when I was gullible and just investing in anything, hoping that it's going to work, that led me to the mindset that I have now and being a little bit more patient when it comes to deals, asking more questions, asking the right questions when it comes to deals. So I wouldn't call those mistakes per se. I just call that a part of the actual journey. I can't think. I mean, I could say, I gave money to somebody in Forex when I should have did it myself. I gave, I could say those type of things, but I think all of those things that I consider what one would consider a L, I consider it a lesson versus a loss. So it actually all made up who Brother Ben X is today, the so-called mistakes that I made.
I guess I'll go next. What was one of your biggest mistakes during your journey to multimillionaire status? I guess I'll answer like Brother Ben and not say mistakes, but things that I could have done better was believe that I deserve to be a multimillionaire. I think that when you first start on the road and you're trying to pave the path for you and for your family, and it's a journey no one else has been on. You can try to get mentors and get advice, but you still have to make the decision that you deserve just as much as your mentor and the people that you look up to. You deserve to live that lifestyle too. You deserve the inheritance that God has promised you. You deserve the abundance that comes with it. And I think so for me, because I was on a journey by myself for so long, I always dealt with that. Do I deserve it? I always looked at my losses as lessons, but in the lessons sometimes, and I knew that they were lessons, the biggest thing that I battled with that was consistent was maybe I don't deserve it. Or do I really think that what I have in my mind is something that God wants me to have, or is it just my ambition and my ego that wants it? And then the moment I just embraced that I do deserve it because I put in the time, I made the sacrifices. I didn't watch TV. I didn't have fun per se, like everybody else would say. And I've dedicated my entire life to administering my gift to the world in a way, in the capacity that God asked for me to. And because I've done that, even though I don't see it, I know that I deserve it. So when I get it, I know what I'm gonna do with it. And so I think that was my biggest thing, not necessarily a mistake, but I wish that I would have started believing in myself sooner, which is why I make sure that my daughter understands that she deserves the world, so that she can already start that process and start that belief factor.
If I could give y'all just something, I want to give y'all this. if I could say something, I would say being too optimistic.
Oh, that's
and,
good. That's
and,
good.
And trusting people too much without doing the proper research. Like growing up into this, I was the unity guy. Hey, brother Ben, let's unite and do this. All right, brother, let's do it. I got the platform. Let's do it. And people knew that about me, and they started to abuse that. They tried to get close to me coming in the name of unity. So I want to give y'all 2 scriptures and then the situation. Proverbs 12:15 says, "A way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice." Number 2, it says, Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." So for me, there was a couple of deals. There was one in particular where $18,000 was spent on something that I don't think at this point cost $18,000. And I had to pay it back myself, although it was a company that I was following and doing and following their advice, but I paid it back myself. So when it comes to wise counsel, if I could make some changes, I would have, when I heard a deal, although it sounds good, but because I'm so optimistic, I got so much optimism, I think every deal sounded good. So because it sounded good to me, I can't allow my emotions and what people thought to just drive me. I should have waited and said, let me go find somebody who's been in this situation and ask them, does this seem right? Let me go consult with somebody, even if I got to pay them, whatever the case may be. Do you think this is a good deal? Do you think it costs this much? What do you think about this? And then get some wise counsel from them before I make those big moves like that. Make sure that I consult with somebody on the outside about these business deals that I was in. If I could say something, that's what it would be for me.
Yeah, for me, speaking because I'm a little bit older than both of my brothers, but for me in my role, you know, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but if I can go back and maybe do some things differently, that will consist of me spending time with my family and my loved ones and putting first things first, even in the midst of me pursuing my millionaire status, you know, because there were times where I got so wrapped up in my work and in my grind and in my hustle and in my process, you know, that I neglected my family, and I didn't give my family the love and attention or the intention that they needed in the process of me just being rooted in my journey. So at the end of the day, like I was again talking to somebody today, it was like, when I make my first 100,000, me making my first 6 figures was way more impactful to my life than when I made my first million. You understand me? And my first million was way more detrimental to a degree to my life than when I made my first 100 grand, because of the sacrifices and some of the selfishness that was required, or that I thought was required, in order to get to the next level. Because when I made my first million, like, my lifestyle didn't really change that much compared to what it was when I was making 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? But the dynamics of the things that's really important of life has shifted and become different because of my sacrifices and my selfishness in the midst of me, you know, pursuing a dollar.
Keys.
That was good. That was good. I think Chris said a lot of what I would think of, especially when it comes in terms to family. On this road, this journey period, man, I embrace the mistakes. I embrace the imperfections. Always say I ain't got to be right. I just got to be growing, right? So I never look to be right in all situations. I'm advanced by what I don't know, not by what I know per se. And I'm always learning to take criticism better. You understand me? I could spend a lot of time by myself, but as Brother Ben was talking about the counsel of wisdom, once I learned to listen to others, that's when I learned to improve. So some of the biggest mistakes that I've made was probably just only listening to myself at a certain point in time and allowing the wisdom of others to cultivate me, to shape me into my next level. I had tweeted out not too long ago that, you know, when somebody points out to me how inexperienced I am, something I don't know, something I don't have, something I can't do, they've given me a roadmap to my next level, right? So instead of trying to cover up those things that I don't know with a bravado, with a cockiness or whatever it may be. It now becomes a listening ear so I can be shaped by some of the constructive criticism to build myself. So I would just say that listening to others was probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned and continue to learn today.
All right. Next question is, when using the fat lady strategy, how do we pay less taxes on profits? Do we have to convert profit to fiat, or is there another way to capture those profits before the market reverses?
Again, it's multiple ways to approach that scenario. The question, no, you don't have to realize the profits and turn it into fiat. You can hold it into USDT, which is Tether, opposed to turning it into a fiat currency. Again, this depends on your individual goals. Everybody goals and outlook and strategy on the market is different. So are you using the fat lady strategy to compound and continue to grow your profits over time? Are you looking forward to create some type of revenue, or are you looking forward to create revenue or income for you to invest in other investment opportunities? So again, like I say all the time, if you in crypto and you looking to be in crypto to turn it back into fiat currency, you're in the wrong game. That's pimping backwards. The name of the game is crypto through and through, being able to buy, purchase, maneuver inside of the cryptocurrency monetary system without turning it back into the dollar.
Yes, sir. Next question is, what is the key to y'all unifying and bringing all the businesses into one? What keeps the BWO growing without a hiccup because of a different agenda? What is the key to y'all unifying? I'll let Brother 19 Keys start off on that one, because he's the one who contacted us individually, separately, and was, bringing about the idea about, hey man, what if we, came together and bring this together? So please, I'll let you start with that one.
Blessing, that's a great question. Recently, I had an older gentleman gave me a great compliment yesterday. He's 87 years old, right? First, his wife told me that he doesn't go to sleep unless he listens to some 19 Keys. And, I was highly flattered. Brother, 87 years old. I'm like, damn. Now, he gave me a compliment that people give me compliments all the time, and I try to let them roll off the sleeve, because he said something. He said, he marched with Martin Luther King. He witnessed Stokely Carmichael and Malcolm X in their heyday. And he said, man, the way you put it together, you got it. And I listened to that, but what I realized is that J. Edgar Hoover had all those men on his list, right? And J. Edgar Hoover tried to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. And the rise of what he didn't realize is that the Black Messiah wasn't a person. It was an idea. It was the ideas that unify us, that allow us to be economically empowered, you understand me, and had a longevity to build our own institutions and do for self. And so the key of unifying and bringing all of these businesses together is seize the fruition of the vision that our ancestors had. You understand me? Us building something united, us growing in a collaborative manner. And so the vision of seeing Brother Tayler Jacobs, Brother Ben X, Brother Chris Cole, talents all under one roof, you understand me, assures that we can continue to produce that idea. And so I got a saying that said, you want to get something done, do it yourself. You want to do more, get you a team. The mastermind principle has been utilized by all of the great leaders and successful people throughout history. So it gives you access to knowledge, skill sets, information that you normally could not achieve on your own. And then you also have the thought process that you have these other institutions out there that are monopolizing the industries right now. They trying to cover every aspect of it and create a barrier for us to have any entry anywhere. So I knew that it's hard as individuals for us to compete with these billion-dollar entities, but us collectively can compete with any entity. Because as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb. So that atomic bomb is that glue fabric of us coming together, unifying, and that's the weapon we can use, you understand me, to win any war. So I would say, to answer the second part of that question is, what keeps the BWO growing without hiccup because of different agendas, I would say number one, do not look for a road without hiccups. You understand me? Don't look for a road without bumps. Don't look for everything to be perfect, right? What makes it worth it is the fact that there are hiccups, but you stick together because the vision is stronger than any small things that could come in between that. And so for me, I look for the hiccups. I look for all of those things. I sit back and just observe, because I'm not looking for something pretty. I know that you have to go through that darkness in order to deserve the light. So the agenda aspect is that our overall agenda is to see our people have economic freedom and for us to be able to bridge the wealth opportunities. So I don't think anything can get in between that, because whatever I put in helps my brothers grow. Whatever my brothers put in help me grow. So it's something that we see as synergy and we see as cross-lateral unification. So I hope that answered your question, and I'll let my other brothers take a stab at that one as well.
For me, the reason it made sense when the decision was, the idea was brought was, you know, from reading Message to the Black Man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says 6 to 8 like-minded individuals, get those, come together and do something for yourself, pool your resources. And I believe we are gods, meaning beings that exercise force and power. And when somebody else have truth, I bow down to that truth, not necessarily the human being, but the force and power coming through that human being. I bow to that. So why should I try to go learn everything when my brother knows the private banking? Why should I go try to learn stocks and crypto and all this when that's what Brother Chris does? Why am I going to figure out trying to do the aesthetics with clothing and product development when that's what 19 Keys does? So there's no reason for me to try to do everything when I can hand it off to my brother and we can do it collectively. And then when I think about, you know, the different agendas and how we keep everything going, just to keep it 100, we keep BWO growing without hiccups by getting into it. By Chris saying, God damn it, this is $1 billion play,
deliberately,
and this what we're gonna do, and we're gonna put all egos and pride to the side, and this is what we go. I ain't gonna give y'all no beautiful answer. That's what it is. By us checking each other, by us getting into it in text message, by us saying, well, hey man, let's get on the phone call and hash this out. That's how we do it. So when you think about how your clothes get clean, your clothes is getting clean in a washer machine, because in the middle there's something called an agitator. Well, inside of that agitator is causing those clothes to go through friction. So with that soap and water on the inside of that machine and the clothes rubbing together, that's actually the process that's cleaning the clothes. And that's what happens inside the BWO. And one of us drifts off, hey man, come on to the table. We have those weekly meetings and we get everything back on point and we keep the vision in front of us. So Brother Chris Cole put together a beautiful packet for us that laid out the blueprint of how we're going to get to $1 billion. So once you have your destination in mind, I call that the spiritual GPS. Whenever we want to go on a destination, whenever we want to go on a journey, right? We put in the destination. That gives me the steps that I need to get there. So if I'm going somewhere and I'm trying to get to Walmart, y'all heard me say this all the time, and I roll my window down and I say, how do I get to whatchamacallit? You're going to look at me like I'm dumb. You're going to say, man, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know where you're going. So now that we have the vision of where we're going, everybody can get on the same page. Are you in or are you out? This is the vision that we got for us. This is the BWO vision that we got for us and the people. You either in this or you're not in this. And if we come up with an individual thought, that's good. But just like back in the day with the circle of gods, let's bring it to the circle of gods and let's vote on it. Let's bring it to the circle of gods and let's see who comes out, you know, with the greatest idea, with the greatest wisdom, and let's go for it. And if we got an individual thought, how does it benefit our whole? How does it benefit our vision? And honestly, that's how we keep it together within the different agendas, us getting into it, us cooking each other, but with a brotherly spirit. And then we put our egos and pride to the side and we keep it going.
I'll just address this because I think Keys did a good job with the unifying piece. But what keeps BWO growing without hiccup because of different agendas? We always got hiccups. We got hiccups with the merchant account, with the websites. We got hiccups with our payroll system, our HR system. We got hiccups. Matter of fact, keep it transparent. Puerto Rico been hell. Okay, trying to make sure everyone has what they need. Y'all acting right and not acting right, doing stuff right and not doing it right. It's hiccups. But when you fall in love with the process, you realize that with every hiccup, you're going to get stronger. So I like to look at hiccups like lifting weights. If I don't push something that brings me resistance, I can never get stronger. And so we look for hiccups, as Keys talked about. We look for things that could be problems, because those won't be problems the next time. And so if you're ever in a situation where you don't have any hiccups, odds are you stop growing, because the process of growth of life is to go through things you haven't been through, or deal with situations, scenarios that you probably never thought that you would, but you have to embrace those hiccups. And you talked about different agendas. Honestly, we have a mission of BWO as a collective, but we all have different vantage points and viewpoints on how to get there. And so I wouldn't say different agendas as far as a negative thing, but different agendas like on visions on how we can get there and get more efficiently. I think that we all collectively are always just going with the best answer, or we're going with the best vote, or we're going with the best proof of concept, which allows for that. But one of the biggest things I appreciate about this group of guys is that none of us are scared of conflict. None of us are scared of checking somebody. None of us are scared of addressing somebody. And I think that the best thing that I love about what we have been doing thus far is that we're learning each other even more to know how to address the other person in the best way that they can be able to receive it, but still be able to get your point across and let them know that they're dropping a ball. And I think it's very important to be in an environment where you have people who are not scared to say, hey, yo, listen, I understand your intention, but you off. And it allows for us to stay on target, because as Chris says, sin in Hebrew just simply means off target. And if your brother is off target and you allow for them to be off target, you're just as bad as they are.
And before Chris go, I want to do a shame. Well, not a shame. I'm about to do a plug. This YouTube channel that y'all on, subscribe to it. This is our official BWO podcast. Him mentioning the sin in Hebrew brought up the podcast. We got a podcast dropping tomorrow. So our first official BWO podcast of us together is dropping tomorrow on this platform. So make sure y'all subscribe to this YouTube. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. In Brother Ben words, the veggie back off of what my brother said again, being the chairman, being the president, and also being the elder of the four, making sure that we are always aligned with the morals and the principles of a man. If we look inside of our community, we so far removed, and I'm speaking to the men, so far removed from living a life with morals and principles that we just kind of go with the flow. A lot of us as men in 2021 are moved and directed by our feelings and emotions. Where really at the end of the day, that's something that is commonplace in females. So when I'm communing or I'm talking or I'm building with my brothers, it doesn't matter if they feelings or emotions get hurt or they feel some type of way. As men, we have to be able to communicate with each other directly and with the level of clarity to not be misunderstood in the message that we are relaying to each other. All of us are men, all of us are individuals. And as a man, it's absolutely impossible, to agree 100% with what another man has to say. So there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be bumps in the road, but the lack of pride and ego when dealing with those things allows us to keep it moving forward. We on the road to 1 billion. That looks something different for all four of us, because guess what? All four of us was purpose with something different, right? So the challenge lies within how can all four of us collaborate together in order to feel our individual purposes collectively? How can we still walk in our divine nature and do the things that God created us to do as individual men and work together collectively in order to benefit a multitude in a world, in a nation of individuals? So my focus is always focusing on the bigger picture and keeping manhood at the forefront of every conversation and situation as it pertains to the inner circle or the family business between us four.
All right, next question. My daughter's arriving in August. What is the first step that I can take to set her up financially, i.e. when she's old enough, hire her as an employee?
I'll start there. The very first step that you can take in setting your daughter up financially is for you to be financially set up. The first thing that we shouldn't be thinking about is how to make our daughter or our children or our family employees or staff members. The very first thing that we have to make sure is that we have a strong enough, big enough boat to be able to, one, get us to our destination, and two, handle rocky times. That will allow for you to be able to properly see where your daughter's gifts, talents, and skill sets are naturally, so that you can be able to provide her the best route possible with the resources needed to be able to develop that. I think a lot of people, when it comes to setting up our children financially, when it comes to setting up our children, when it comes to a tax, protecting ourselves from paying too much in taxes, we think too much of the black and white, right? We're saving ourselves from taxes, all these tax strategies, and how can I be able to do this? But the truth is, we can't set up our children if we're not first set up properly ourselves. It's easier for you to put your family in order when you get yourself in order. Prime example, when I first got started building this business, when I was by myself, I wasn't thinking about my family, nor was I thinking about setting up my daughter to be financially straight. Originally, I said, I need to make sure that I am financially straight and I have the things in order that I need to have in place. And by default, my daughter will be taken care of. And then from there, I still haven't even thought about my daughter being a staff member or employee, because my daughter Tayler is a free bird. She literally told me, Daddy, I just want to fly. Daddy, I just want to be. So you know what that tell me? She's going to be spending daddy money, traveling all across the world, just being free. And that's her thing. So I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is making sure that I've done enough of what I need to do to give all of my children in my family options to be able to ensure that we don't have to even deal with that. Because in truth, here's the truth. The truth is, based on the Bible and based upon the old curse, none of us are actually supposed to be working by the sweat of our brow like that anymore. What I mean by that is, one of the curses that was given to Adam was that he would have to work by the sweat of his brow in order for him to be able to survive, eat, and thrive. Well, I want to get to where these families of other demographics, to where you don't have to work by the sweat of your brow anymore, because your family has tons of generational wealth that will allow for you to just operate in your gift, which doesn't take that much work for you to be able to do. So I think that the very first thought that we should ask ourselves is, one, am I secure financially myself? Do I have my things in order first? When you do that, it's easier to set up your family, your children. Then it's easier to set up your family after that.
Before we go to the next, I want to talk about, I'm about to show you a video about our BWO Mastermind. A lot of y'all are going to be at our BWO Mastermind next month. Y'all going to see us in person. A lot of y'all probably saying, dang, I didn't know about that. Well, tickets are already sold out because our students have bought them up. But if you want to tune in virtually, go to www.bwooaccess.com/virtual. Here's a little trailer for you.
There's no greater time than the now.
You come and you pay up front, we give you more. You pay for your car.
Learning how to make money is learning how to properly utilize the 1% trading. Once we got developed students out of that, it's the digital real estate, showing them how to build their brand, build content. They're going to get that.
There is a statistic that points that black people will have 0% wealth in 2053.
We got anywhere between 95 and 115 that we still can allocate some expenses to. You know what I'm saying?
People begin to grow and stretch, but most importantly, seeing people that look like us being able to operate businesses on a high level where other people think that we can't do it.
And it's a mindset shift to where it comes where we can actually start producing the type of lifestyle that builds wealth.
Tap in with the guys, BWO.
All right, family. So we're going to do about 3 more questions. Sister Victoria, can you give us the next question? And then we're going to close out. Can I be successful if I'm academically slow and lack creativity? I mean, I guess it depends on what you deem as successful and what you deem as academically slow. If you're talking about school, I don't think you necessarily need to be an A student, B student, or a C student in school per se. There's many dropouts who are now doing way better than people who got straight A's. When it comes to lack of creativity, I would say this. I wouldn't say or just judge yourself and say that you have a lack of creativity. Maybe you just haven't haven't been put in an environment that forces you to tap into the creativity that you do have inside. So much so, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, adversity is the mother of creativity. So it wasn't until I was put in a position where I was suffocating until I really went full-fledged with the digital real estate. When I was working at the plantation, aka Sterlite warehouse job, every day that I was going there, I said, man, I worked too hard to be getting paid $14 an hour. So much so I started to have so many business ideas in my mind because I was going to do whatever it took to get out of that situation. So if you look at your life, you probably will find that you have been creative. You just haven't been acknowledging it. And when you can go back and look at the creativity that you already have, look at your gift that you maybe already have, and just find a way to monetize it, that may be what you're looking for. But you don't need to be an A student. You don't need to be a college graduate. You ain't even got to have a high school diploma to be successful per se. And when it comes to the lack of creativity, I think you just need to tap in and see where you already are creative in. And I think you'll find that you may be creative in some areas. You're just not acknowledging it. Brother Keys?
Yeah. By the way that you asked this question, and I don't want to judge you, but it sounds like you may be lazy, because creativity is not something you have, it's something you do.
All right. One of y'all want to answer that or add to that?
I think it's just a quick answer right here. We set up BWO to be able to address all of the learning curves that anyone may have. We know some people are more learning by hands-on. We know some people are visual learners. We know some people like to read. We know some people like auditory. We know some people like drawing it out. And some people like step by step. And so inside of BWO, you will be able to see very plainly and very simply that we are able to address all of the learning abilities that somebody may have. If you feel like you're academically slow, I know I'm going to make this sound simple. Just go slower than everybody else and don't judge yourself based on what somebody else is doing because they're picking it up fast. Application matters more than you just consuming the information fast. Just take your time and don't leave that lesson or that video until you feel like you have mastered the steps to be able to move forward. Because what we're teaching you are skill sets and things that you can be able to pass down to your children's children for generations. So when you understand the generational impact of the information being shared with you in BWO, one thing I can know for certain is that 90% of the information that we give you will stand the test of time and have stood the test of time. Platforms may change, social media may change, technology may change, but one thing that will never change is guaranteed wealth for your family and trading and doing things online. So just take your time, digest it to the speed that you need, and don't be so hard on yourself if you're not progressing or moving as fast as other people.
Can y'all hear me? I want to try this again.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. I was saying, and I'm gonna be quick on this one. Creativity is, the activity of creating. You understand me? And usually that involves questioning things to figure out how you want to do them instead of how things are done. And when it comes to being academically slow, as my brother said, one of the things I just got finished recording as a module for the BWO was learning how to learn. And I gave some of my proven methods that I utilize to research and to learn new, hard to grasp subjects. So all of these things can be learned, you understand me? But if you accept them as who you are, then you're going to have a hard challenge because everything that you just asked us about just went towards your mindset, you understand me? And so you have to change your mindset, as my brother Ben X like to say, from impossible to impossible. But I will say that creativity is going to be a necessary tool and necessary skill set for everybody because you don't have to be that smart because they're already a smartphone. You understand me? Apple is building a great technology. The blockchain is already here. Stocks is already here. Crypto is already here. Somebody smart already built it. But to learn how to use it in the best ways, that's where the creativity comes into play. So learn the process of creativity, you understand me, and learn how to learn. And you already here talking to the BWO founders. So becoming a BWO member will allow you to exceed those challenges that you currently have.
Yeah, and just to close that point out, yeah, you can absolutely be successful if you are quote unquote academically slow, because guess what? Academics does not require, does not automatically guarantee success. So success is not rooted in academics itself. So don't get bogged down into the academic or the education system and say, oh, I have to have this to be successful. The second part about questioning your own creativity really boils down to you understanding your God-given purpose and your God-given gift. Because the fact of the matter is all of us are creative in our own rights, because God birthed us all with gifts, or at least a gift that is unique to you. So it's in it. And guess what? If it's unique to you, it's not to be compared to other people, other folks' timeline and the things that they do. Understand your ability and what it is that's inside of you that God gifted you, the things that speak to you when you lay down in your bed at night and it's just you and your thoughts. And understand, you know, that you're already equipped with the power, the wherewithal in order to manifest those things. And those things are unique to you and ultimately will be impactful and a blessing to everything and everybody around you. So don't never discount your creativity because it don't look like your brother or don't look like your sister's creativity. All of us possess something that no other man or woman possess that's walking here. So it's up to you to walk into that light and into that purpose, to understand that in the first place.
Next question is, how do you stay grounded and ensure that your family isn't neglected when you're working? I want to push that back to you, Chris, because that was one of the things that you mentioned that you did as a mistake building the entrepreneurship. So I guess I want to turn it into, how did you get better at not neglecting the family as you grew up in maturity?
Yeah, and again, I think building a family unit, I really view that as something that is a process, right? And that process also is divided into seasons as well. So being able to identify the different seasons that you go through while you are into the process. So for me, just being more intentional, you know, whether it was hiring my family or, you know, taking my family with me when I was traveling or whatever the case might be, because the fact of the matter is I didn't ever want to do what it is that I do to not do the things that I really want to do. You understand me? So I didn't want to be a slave to what it takes in order to become a millionaire or in order to build wealth or leave a legacy. But I wanted to put into the work. I wanted to put into the work, and I was purposed to do the work so I could spend the majority of my time doing the things that's important to me. So for me, it's not about one or the other. It's about prioritizing the priorities. You know, what's important to you, right? Because at the end of the day, we all know how to make money. We all know how to build businesses. But why are we making money in building businesses in the first place? Most of us on this call will say, well, so I can spend more time with my family, I can do what's really important to me, right? But the fact of the matter is, when we're pursuing this 7-figure wealth building or building a legacy or whatever the case might be, we have to start off with making the things that are priority a priority instead of doing them the other way around. You know, so when I go back to talking about things that I would do differently on my path, will say, okay, I will organize my friends, my family, my loved ones, my community before me pursuing the dollar or me pursuing a 7-figure income, right? So always keeping first things first, no matter where your bank account is, because at the end of the day, your family, your friends, your loved ones, the things that you enjoy doing, those are things that money can't buy. You know, we all want to be millionaires, and we dream of most of us dream of being millionaires because we dream of materialistic shit that we may not can afford in this moment. But at the end of the day, we don't even prepare ourselves for the responsibility that comes with being a seven-figure earner, and accountability, and the people that you know, lean on you, and their livelihood is based on what it is that you do from a day to day. You know, so most of us never, you know, we pray for a million, we pray for success, but we never pray for God to prepare us for what comes with that. You know, and most often we never even think about what comes with that. We just think about us being able to get shit that we can't afford now.
And all of those questions dealing with your family will be addressed in the Kingdom Family Blueprint that I'll be teaching. And then Brother Chris, in the last 2 weeks, he's going to come on board. But I think it's very important for us to understand that when you're on your mission work and God gives you a great mission, you have family members that you can put in place. Even though your family may not be a part of your company, you can still be able to put them in positions and let them be a part of what you have. The problem that a lot of us have is that we separate what we do. So we say God has called us to this, right? So if God has called me to this mission or to this work, my family should be a part of that work based on their skill sets and what they can bring. So the money that I bring home, it doesn't first touch my pockets. It has to get divvied up. And the best people to employ are your family members. So your family may not be suitable to helping you grow, scale, and build your actual business, but don't forget your family is a business too. And if you have this overflow of this structure that you have money coming in, you should be employing your family to do the things that you need for them to do. So like my mothers are all employed in my family business. Both of them may not be employed in our company that we're doing with BWO and ABS. But when it comes to Jacobs International Enterprise, when it comes to the House of Jacobs, a private trust and private family, my family is all employed in our staff to ensure that the legacy of what we are as a unit continue to move forward. And the goal is to make my life easier. And so I think it's very important for us to understand that, because if you think about royal families and how royal families are built, royal families all typically have stipends, and they get a stipend from the family. And then anything that they do outside of that is extra cream on top. So we have to understand the importance of that. And that's why we're going to be starting in May. Saturday will actually be tomorrow will actually be at 8 p.m. I believe. Yeah, 8 p.m. We'll get y'all the right time. Will actually be the first class of Kingdom Family Blueprint, where we're going to be showing you exactly how to build a bulletproof family and how to ensure that you all can move as a unit and everybody can be a part of the same mission.
Before we move on to the next question, I want to say something on that. When it was a certain point in time, I wanted family to support my business, and I was disappointed because I believe I had false expectations that they didn't have to meet in the first place. And then I changed that to create a business that supports my family, right? And when that happened, they were invested, they got equity into the business, and now they run the business while I design, give them the vision, right, and manage it. But what makes a family functional is everybody finding a role. The dysfunction comes from people not having their roles properly. So when it comes to being able to balance that out, you know, with family and the time management, I believe that, like my brother Tayler Jacobs just said, it's family management. The royal family that was started in 1819 is still running the world today because their very business is family. That's the institution that they use to project their power into the future. So I think that you can never, you should never even try to build something without family. They've told us that for so long, don't do business with family, right? Even though that families rule the world. So I believe that the moment you try to start doing business without family, you're going to find yourself as an individual and you're going to lose your family, right? So you should always have family and business tied together, because that's the very institution that's going to build the wealth, that's going to make this powerful, and that's going to get us onto our road to $1 billion. Because I know for a fact that our family is what backing each and every one of us.
Yep.
All right, we reaching out.
Good answer, Keith.
We reaching our hour. as we close with the last question, sorry, with so much information available, I find myself with choice paralysis. How do you maintain focus as you are bombarded with new courses and ways to make money from many other sources, direct to all? I'll start by saying the Bible says your gift will make room for you. And I believe a lot of people are chasing money. They're not chasing gift. And money is like a cat. The more you chase the cat, the more it runs away from you. But if you got something valuable that cat wants, the cat will come to you without any hard work that you put in. So I think a lot of times we are suffering from over-analysis paralysis because your mindset is on money. Your mindset is not on being of value. Your mindset is on money, not how can I become an asset. See, I say all the time, I don't care if y'all got Bitcoin, crypto, Litecoin, Space Moon, gold, silver. If I'm valuable in an asset, you're going to pay me in some Bitcoin. Yeah. You're going to give me some of that crypto. Yeah. You're going to give me some of that gold that you got. You don't care how long you store it. Storing it alone is not going to be valuable. It's about storing it and holding it so that you can use it as a medium of exchange. So you got to get to a point where you stop chasing money, because as long as you chase money, you're going to be selling tea one day, talking about, look at me, I done lost 55,000 pounds. Come get the TLC. Yeah, you're going to be doing that one day. Then you're going to be selling coffee the next day. Then you're going to be selling bumper stickers the next day. Then you're going to be selling Forex the next day, talking about turn $2 into 20,000 in 2 minutes. You're going to be doing all that because you're chasing money. So what you have to do is say, what is my value? What is my purpose? Is it digital real estate? Is it stocks? Is it private? What is it? And then once you figure out what you want to do, you stay focused on that thing that's going to make you more valuable. See, there's a difference between reading and studying. See, reading is you just reading everything. You just pulling from everything. Studying is, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I'm going to tell y'all something. I just had a 4-hour meeting with the team yesterday. Asking black people, what do you want, is one of the hardest question to answer. What do you want? Well, you know, I just, whatever you need. What do you want? Well, you know, I just kind of, I'm pretty good at, what do you want? Even ask them how much you want to make. Well, man, if we could do 2,500, that's all you want to make? No, that ain't what I make. Well, what do you want? So if you just ask yourself, what do you want? If I wake up every day, what do I find myself doing on a daily basis? What is my purpose that I believe God has created me for? Then what you do, you go find courses that increases that. Go find mentors that increases that. Go find different things that increase that. And you will find yourself being less stressed out. Because when you got to manage so many things, like brother Jake always say, yeah, you making 6 figures. Duh, you got 20 jobs. You want to get to a point where you're making 6 figures doing that one thing that you like. Not being stressed out making 6 figures. You better be making 6 figures tired as you is. You want to make 6 figures and be, you know, have peace in the mind. You got, you know what I mean? You got some time. You being relaxed. So what I would say is, to wrap this thing up, focus on passive impact. Y'all heard me say this. Focus on passive impact, not passive income. Because the more people that you impact, the more income will come. Some of y'all got 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. And what y'all not recognizing and realizing is, if 5,000 people pay me $20 a month, I'll be straight. Let's just do some math real quick. I ain't going to make it long. I'm about to do some math real quick. Some of y'all got 2,000 followers. Instead of you focusing on money, you should be focusing on, how can I impact 1,000 people? So if you got 1,000 people and you got a product that somebody will pay $20 a month for, that's $20,000 a month. $20,000 a month. Now, what is that? What's that? $240,000 a year? A year, y'all. Some of y'all ain't making that right now. Many of y'all ain't making that right now. And I'm gonna ask this question like I always do. What is your life insurance got in common? Your insurance bill, your car note, and all that type of stuff, your light bill, all those things have something in common. You pay it on a monthly basis. You pay it on a monthly basis. So if you buying food on a daily basis that you know not good for you, if you're still getting them a triple cheeseburger from McDonald's with the secret sauce on it, and you know it ain't good for you, but you're still buying it, and it's not bringing you any nutrients to your body, really. If you still buying that, do you really believe that you can't produce a product and a service that somebody not going to pay $20 a month for, $10 a month for? You mean to tell me it's 7 billion people on the planet and you can't get 10,000 people to buy something from you for $100? Digital product to where you ain't got much overhead. So tap into the God within. Chase the talents and skills within, and the money will chase you. Money is a medium of exchange of value. If you focus on becoming valuable with a product and a service, even y'all who say, well, Brother Ben, I ain't nothing. Now, as I close, would you rather get shot or learn from somebody who got shot? Would you rather spend 15 years in prison or learn from somebody who spent 15 years in prison? Money, y'all gonna say, shoot, I'd rather learn from the brother. Well, don't tell me you're not valuable then. I don't care how bad you done been treated. I don't care how bad your life is. By you just telling your story and giving a testimony, you can save somebody's life. That's an ebook. That's a mentor. That's consulting. That's a conversation that you can create from your own life that can help somebody else in their life. So that's why that would be my answer to that situation.
I'll be quick, because I think Brother Ben wrapped it up pretty smoothly. Those who know how to commit, right, or have the high level mindset to be successful. You understand me? Those who are always jumping from plan A to B to C, relationship to relationship, job to job, idea to idea, right? They never commit themselves to anything. Those who look for weekend courses and hope that success follows after 48 hours, those are the people who aren't successful. So you have to ask yourself, on what side of the spectrum do you fall? A person that has the ability that when they say an idea, they 100% in. The plan A is the only plan. There's no plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. It's just this plan, and it's going to win. And we all know those type of people to where when they say they go do something, you know it's done. You know that they about to go 100% in until it's done. And then you know those type of people, they get excited for a moment. They say they go do something and they own it temporarily. You give them maybe about a month or so, and then they on to a whole nother plan and a whole nother idea. So without your ability to commit, yes, everything is going to look shiny to you. If you don't have a real why, all of the information looks necessary to you. But when you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, then you don't need to know all of the information that's out there, because information overload, yes, it will have you distracted. And decision fatigue is real. If you go into a store and they got 1,000 different shoes to pick from and they all good shoes, it's going to be hard for you to pick because you got too many damn decisions, right? So for me, I'd rather have a few good quality choices. You understand me? And it's going to make easier for me to be able to pick 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you think about the internet, oh, I'm about to go on YouTube and just figure out something to know. No, all information ain't valuable. Information is statistics and data. You understand me? Knowledge is when you take the information and you apply it and it becomes experience. Wisdom, right, is when you have time with that knowledge and you become smarter and you become better at it, right? And so the smarts is knowing the best way to utilize the knowledge. So when it comes to learning and when it comes to the information age, some of us overindulge in escapism because we're looking for favor outside our responsibilities. But when you're only looking for the dopamine shot and your brain finds pleasure in the work, you're not looking for it in the phone, not looking for it in the likes, not looking for it on YouTube, not looking for it anywhere else. So when you go research and you go study, find information pertinent to your vision, right? If the information is not pertinent to my vision, then guess what? It's a distraction. Because when you break down distraction, it is distraction. It is not gaining any traction in life, which means it's not moving you forward to your goals, and it's not attracting the things that you want. It's subtracting your ability to get out the mud. You understand me? So only look to learn things that you can actually apply. I don't just want to learn the lifespan of a worm or a turtle if that ain't got nothing to do with me actually building wealth, because that's taking time away right? From me actually learning strategies and applying them and getting some experience that can be proven. So decision fatigue is going to be something that everybody deals with because you got your phone, you got all of these other things that's going to constantly pull you away from focusing on the things that's actually going to help you build towards your goals. So once you have a strong why, it connects you with an emotional desire towards your what, you understand me, and your how. So once you know why you want to do it, then everything that you learn should be going towards your goal. The other information should never look shiny to you. The courses should never look shiny to you because you're committed to everything that you get into. But once you jump into one thing, then yeah, you want to get into something else because you don't really know who you are in the first place, nor know why you want to do it in the first place. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and to finish it off, the veggie back off what my brothers say, you know, it's a matter of going into the situation and knowing what you want in the first place. BWO, we have a lot to offer. We have a lot of bridges that we are building. So therefore, there's always going to be a plethora of opportunities for you to dive into, no matter where you are, you know, with your individual or collective journey. So, you know, I always challenge people to ask themselves, what is it that they're looking for and they want out of the situation in the first place? And if you have an idea and understanding of what it is that you want, then it makes it very easy to kind of find your path when you're in the back office or when you're listening to the lives or joining the webinars or whatever the case might be. It's just like going in the grocery store, knowing that you're going in the grocery store looking to buy bread. You don't go down the ice cream aisle if you went into the grocery store looking for bread. The grocery store got thousands of things that you can choose from and purchase, but going into the store and knowing what it is that you want before you even go into the store is key to you being efficient and a good steward of your money and of your time, because God still holds us responsible for our time that we commit, whether it may be a good thing, a bad thing, a right thing, or a wrong thing. We're still accountable for the time that we spend doing the things that we were purposed to do in the first place. So understanding what that is and pursuing those things should help make things a bit clearer.
And then I'll end it with this. Today, I found out a little bit of history of my heritage. You know, I didn't know past my grandmother about the Jacobs people, the Jacobs last name. And the Jacobs last name was actually just the one name and the first name of my great-great-grandfather. My great-great-great-grandfather was an Indian man, and he was a bridge builder. And he came from Missouri and came into Arkansas, and his primary occupation was building bridges. And apparently he was a well-off, well-made man, lived modestly. But in fact, he was known throughout the southern region, Arkansas and down, for building bridges. I had no idea that was the thing. And then for us to be bridging wealth opportunities to all these communities, to teach you all how to be able to take advantage of protecting and creating legacies for your future, it looks like it's more divine than anything. And so I just want to commission you with this. Don't look at the bridge and don't walk over it. When you see the bridge and you see how many people are walking over that bridge and seeing success in their lives, what should be happening is as fast as you will go and look up the newest gossip, as fast as you will go to look up rumors and look for a beefing from people departing or separating, should be as fast as you're running to your opportunity across the bridge. Should be as fast as you're running to your destiny across the bridge. Should be as fast as you're running to your legacy across the bridge, because across the bridge of BWO, we have guaranteed strategies to ensure that your family will be taken care of forever. Across the bridge of BWO, we have implemented blueprints that you will be able to follow to guarantee wealth for many nations, for many generations. across the bridge of BWO, you have people who have not only walked the walk, but are still here teaching what they walked and then taking you through it more like a tour guide other than a director. Across the bridge of BWO is your future. Across the bridge of BWO is your destiny. And across the bridge of BWO is your inheritance that God has allowed and has assigned for you to be able to get. But you have to be in a better situation, in a better position to be able to take your family and your legacy to the next level. So when you talk about BWO and you talk about bridging wealth opportunities, I really want you to see that in BWO, we have created a world for you to be able to take what is rightfully yours. And we just want to train you on how to get there so that when God begins to give you overflow, you know what to do with the overflow. The problem that we've all had is that we start to get some of the flow and then we clog up our own flow because we haven't decided to learn the proper skill sets to grow the flow that we have. I saw somebody asking about how many streams do you need to become a 7-figure earner. But the truth is all you need is one stream. And what you do with the one stream will create multiple streams. But it starts over the bridge. And what I want you to do right now, if you're not inside of BWO and you know for a fact that you've been looking for a bridge, I want you to type bridge in the chat. I want you to type bridge in the chat right now, because I know for a fact that when I first got started, I just wanted somebody to give me a bridge. I just wanted somebody to show me a bridge that has been walked on, that has been stepped on, that has been driven on, that can be able to get me from point A to point B safely. And what I can tell you for a fact is that for those that are not in BWO and you know for a fact that you've been looking for a bridge, this is the moment in time. In this moment in time, during this summertime, we're going to literally be walking you through these steps. We're going to teach you how to build your family. We're going to teach you how to get back trust with your loved ones. We're going to teach you how to get everybody in line. We're going to teach you how to grow, how to groom, how to develop, and so that you can look at yourself and be proud of yourself at the end of your lifeline. But I want you to understand something, is that at the BWO bridge, all things are good. So you have to ask yourself and you look at yourself and give yourself a true measurement check and ask yourself, have I measured up to be everything that I'm supposed to be? The answer is no. You need to get your butt over the bridge. And for this moment in time only, it's going to be a discount if you take advantage of the bridge today.
And as we close, what we found is, and what a lot of y'all don't know, is that we've merged the tribe with BWO. I've seen in the comment section, many people say, I need somebody to hold my hand. Many people say it's so overwhelming. It's too many courses. They want to be a part of a private community that can help them and inspire them to get going. That's what we just brought with the tribe. So if y'all text 777 to 214-884-4644, we actually have a discount. But I want to show y'all the power of the tribe and why I think a lot of y'all are going to succeed with BWO, with the tribe now coming under it, because now you got a group of people that can hold your hand Tuesday through Saturday to make sure you're not left behind. Check out this video.
Y'all better stop playing with the tribe. Let's go, y'all. Where y'all at? We have classes 5 nights of the week.
Guess what? All of the help that you need is going to be given to you, but you got to put yourself in the position of a student.
Blessed to be here right now, and yeah, looking forward to chatting with everybody and building and growing opportunities. So
the purpose and the motive of us creating and coming up with the tribe, it started off with me and Brother Jake just wanting to do business school.
I'm happy. I'm just happy to be here still, and I'm just happy to learn all the information I'm learning.
You got to humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be in the spirit to receive, because we receive some things here.
And it became something a lot bigger than just business. It became family. It became a mental growth, spiritual growth.
I love y'all. This wasn't scripted. This is just the spirit. This is how we move. And I'm very proud of y'all. Okay, so y'all tell somebody that need to be involved in this to get their butt involved in it, because you've experienced what it's like now.
I've been asking God and praying, that I get help in the things in the areas that I need help with, as far as my business and things of that nature, and just getting proper direction.
You too, man. I find you brothers, man, and y'all spoke to my soul, man. Ain't nothing like
seeing brothers doing positive things, man. And I had to become a member, man.
Hey, there it is, y'all. That's the tribe, man. So that just came under the BWO. BWO tribe is live and in effect Tuesday through Saturday. And guess what? On Saturdays, men got the Lions Den. Women got the Sister Circle. Because what we found is our people are not just dealing with financial issues, it's trauma, is domestic violence, is mental issues. So in the women's class, guess what? No men allowed. In the men's class, guess what? No women allowed, because women been having groups for a while, but men needed an opportunity in a space to where they can be vulnerable, where they can talk about their problems, and men could come together and say, man, I'm with you. Man, I've been through it, and here's some solutions to make it happen. So that's what we just brought under the BWO to help y'all. So if y'all want to get in for the discount, 3-month discount, text 777 to 214-884-4644, and we'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.